to come back home and announce here at my old home track.
Announcing for 30 plus years, so you actually probably announced some of the chariot races too.
The chariot races? Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Got the red button on. All right, we're here at the Hartford Motor Speedway, and we have Wayne Bunn with us, and you're one of the announcers here, actually the only announcer here. But how many years have you been announcing now?
Well, I'm in my 50s now, and I started when I was 16, if that tells you anything. So it's been upwards of 35 years. Several different tracks all over the tri-state area, and Hartford is kind of my home. That's where I went to school at, and I know a lot of people in the stands. It's kind of rewarding to come back home and announce here at my old home track.
Announcing for 30 plus years, so you actually probably announced some of the chariot races too.
The chariot races? Yeah, but I do remember the days of when it was originally dirt, then went to pavement, then back to dirt, then closed, and then open with the dirt track again. But I'm excited about what we got tonight. We got 26 sprint cars in the pit area back there. All the top heavy hitters from the ASCS are here. Trying to think of his name. Johnny Herrera from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Randy Hannigan. Jeremy Campbell, who raced here when Sod was here about 10 years ago. He's from Wichita, Kansas now. He's formerly from Monroe, Michigan. They got a female driver back there. I'm trying to remember her name. Alexis Adgate from Middleville, Michigan.
Okay, mini sprint driver.
Chase Ridenauer from Perry, Michigan. Brett Mann. Kyle Slaughter from Archibald, Ohio. He's the 360 track record holder here. Wayne Johnson is here. Brad Loyette. All the top ASCS heavy hitters are here tonight. Should be a good show.
It's going to be a really neat deal here with Hartford. I mean, with it being closed, and then Tim and Leah got the track a couple years ago and started, building the weekly classes up, and now the sprint cars are on here for quite a few times this year.
Yeah, I think we got six or seven big sprint shows. We do have the late models. The American Ethanol Tour UMP late models are here twice, and we've got an ALMS American Late Model Series show later in the year. About 6 or 7 sprint shows. The weekly stuff primarily is the UMP Modifieds. That's our headliner class that pays $1,000 to win every week, so you never know who's going to show up.
Right.
Brian Ruhlman showed up 2 weeks ago and stole the money, so it was good to see him. Brian had a big win at Volusia County Speedway in Barberville, Florida back in Speed Week, so that's a little notch in our cap to have a big driver like that come in. But one of the things about Hartford, you never know who's going to show up on a weekly basis.
With the UMP sanction, and you got guys all over the state, and really got Illinois guys that can pop in here at any time throughout Michigan, Ohio. It's and this track's actually working on a Friday night, and it's a big track. And sometimes big tracks don't get the crowds, but this track has really been getting some good crowds last year, the year before, and so far this year.
Well, the big thing is I think Tim and Leah Devil's heart is in it. Not that the Bordens was not. Jim had some health problems, and kind of got out of it, and we hated to see him pass away a couple years ago. But JR did a great job helping out Jim Borden with the track. Now Tim and Leah have taken over. Like I said, their heart is really in it. They're promoting it. We've got about 3 different radio stations that are involved. Usually, if you're in the area, turning the dial, you're going to hear an announcement about Hartford Speedway. I got a couple of DJs coming out tonight who I'm going to interview and have some fun with. Brock and Hunter from WIRX, local Benton Harbor St. Joe station. They've even gone over and above and beyond what we've asked of them to do. They've really made a lot of announcements positively for Hartford Speedway, and we're trying to promote that, but anyway, our Cyberstock class, the 4-cylinder division, we started out practice night the Monday before we opened up. We had 23 cars just in the Cyberstock division for a practice. So we've had about 21 to 24 of those each week. And the UMP Modified opening night, we had to go again to the Michigan Dirt Cup show that was running at Winston. And we still had 20 UMP Modified show up for the 1,000 to win, so that was pretty good. We were happy with that.
And Hartford's one of the biggest tracks in the state. Basically, it's they call it a half mile, but it's almost a 9/16. Probably the fastest speeds you'll see in the state of Michigan at this track.
Yeah, the sprints are going to be hitting straightaway speeds of about 130. And the exciting thing about the sprint cars is they don't let up when they go into corners. They keep their foot right in it. You never know what's going to happen. But this group of drivers here tonight, you're going to see a lot of quality racing. I was talking with Greg Dahlman, he was the Sod champion last year, and he's excited tonight. And you would think, well, it might be a little bit overwhelming against the competition that he's going to be running up. But he was fired up. He's ready to go.
This is the World of Outlaws show.
Yeah,
360s.
He says the fans are definitely going to get their money's worth tonight. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we're going to let you go here because we're going to get some other interviews and you're going to catch up on some more notes and stuff. But it's always a pleasure to hear you announce. You're probably one of the best announcers up in this area, and always a lot of fun at Hartford.
All right, thanks. Thanks for coming out. We always enjoy the photo books too.
Hey.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we're here at the Hartford Speedway, and actually we have Jeremy Campbell with us. Actually, you're from this area, and then you moved to the Midwest, literally to the west of the Midwest, and now you're back racing tonight, and kind of neat that you're back in this area.
Yeah, I seen that they're actually running up here at 360s with the ACS, and I was like, well, maybe I can make a family trip out of that deal. So we raced last week in Wichita, and that Sunday we started driving out here to Monroe, Michigan, my hometown, and actually seeing family for the whole week, and now we're on our way back home. So I was like, well, shoot, might as well just bring the race car and race on the way back home. So that's what we did.
And when you were racing back a few years ago in this area, you're racing with Sod, and you did quite well.
Yeah, I say we raced with Sprints on Dirt for a little while in 2000, and then 2002 went to, or 2001 and 2 went to Gamma Series, and went to the All-Star Series. You know, last time I actually been to this track was 2005, I think. So it's been over 10 years since I've been here. So it's been a while, and it's nice to be back in this area.
And pretty neat with this track, as big as it is, and when you were probably here back in the day, this is when Sod was racing, this is probably the biggest track they raced on, and even the All-Stars and for the Outlaws for that matter. Very, very nice to see this track still alive.
Oh yeah, I'd say this track's been around a long time, I hear, and it's nice to come back to it and just see a lot of old friends really, that haven't seen it for a long time. So it's pretty fun to actually be able to do it.
And really, it's more of a 360 series you're racing out in the Kansas area. There is some 410s that race up here with the All-Stars and the Outlaws, and the 410s has got so expensive. Even the 360 series is pretty expensive.
Yeah, around that area, you don't see much 410 stuff. That's why the Outlaws don't really run much around there anymore. It's just, I guess in the Midwest, it's pretty pricey to run 410. So it's all 360 and 305. Cars around there, so that's kind of what we do. And our home track's a 360 track. They run there almost every other week, and we do that now down in Wichita, Kansas at 81 Speedway. And then we run a little NCRA tour around. It's like a little Kansas regional tour that we run around probably 5 or 6 different racetracks.
If you had to rate the tracks in this area to what's in Kansas, are they more tackier up here, or more dry slick, or what's your opinion of the tracks up this way versus out in the Midwest?
Well, they're like out in the Midwest, we got a lot of wind. And that dries tracks out. So out there, it's pretty dry, slick out there. But up here, I think it's more sandy up here. The dirt's more sandy. And out there, it's more clay, but with all the wind and the heat and everything, it just dries it out bad out there. So it's almost about the same, just different texture of dirt.
Any favorite drivers from this area that you looked up to back in the years gone past?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've been running around here, and I just know a few friends, like Brett Mann, and then, Daggett, and just a couple local guys I still remember, and I know a lot of faces. I'm really bad with names, but I do know a lot of faces that I've been seeing, a lot of familiar faces around here. So
wow, this is neat. This is really cool that you're here, because you used to race here years ago, and you just kept moving up the ladder and very successful. Then you moved out west and kind of still keeping communication out there with what you're doing out there. But that's a good little trip for you from Kansas all the way here to race.
Yeah, it's a good 14-hour drive back home and almost 1,000 miles. So we ran out of money doing the Outlaw deal back in 2007, and we kind of sold everything off, and that's kind of why I moved back out there. And she's from out there, and we started small again, and then kind of built my way back up to what I got now. And actually, I'm able to travel a little bit more now, so that's kind of another reason why we're actually able to come out this way and put some more miles on the truck and trailer and car this year. So that's what we want to do, is to travel a little bit more and try to get more out and more variants of drivers and stuff.
Probably after the race this night, you'll have a lot of people coming up to you and going, didn't you used to drive that Tennessee car years ago?
Right, yeah, it's still the same number, but different color, so hopefully people still recognize me and still see who I am. So.
Well, we're glad you made it out here. We're going to wish you luck tonight. There's going to be some tough competition with that Great Lakes Series plus the Traveling Series.
Yeah, I say that National Tour has some pretty strong hitters on it. So, because I just raced with them a few weeks ago down Texas Motor Speedway, and they're pretty stout. So
yeah, they don't play around.
No, they don't. It's almost like the Outlaw days. So hopefully, we just got to get good starts, and hopefully we can hold on and have a steady finish.
You might have them kind of psyched out a little bit. They're saying, well, that Campbell kid raced out here and won a lot of races, so he might know what he's up to over here.
I hope I can figure it out again. So hopefully they'll come back to me pretty quick. So.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jeremy.
All right, thank you.